Hello. I haven't done a YouTube video in a while. I've done a lot of TikToks. Go there if you want it. If you want to see the TikTok that I've done or whatever. But I'm going to describe a character that I have had in my head since I have been a kid. He/she, because Eggman crap, I'll explain that in a minute, is a very... It's a Sonic thing. Cry about it. A Sonic character I've made. My version of Sonic. Hellfire Sonic, as my profile says. He/she is a character named Sonic the Hedgehog. Or, technically, Sonic the Hedge Fox. Because he's part fox. His mother's the fox. Dad's the hedgehog. This is going to be hilarious. One was born on the sun. One was born on the moon. My mother was born on the moon. My father was born on the sun. They met up in Mobius, had hit it off, and had a kid. 3 of them, in fact. Tails, Amy, and Sonic. So in this world, Sonia and Manic are actually Tails the Fox and Amy Rose. Tails was born on the moon, Sonic was born on the sun, and Amy was born on the Mobius. Sonic was born on the sun, and Tails was born on the moon. The reason why that is because they believed that they would only have one. That's what that's what their doctor said, whatever, that had her, blah, 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 checked out everything. So they decided to have it based on the powers of the sun. However, they were 3 separate children. All 3 of them are identical twins. However, they're a bit different. So one's an hour, so I was born on the sun. An hour later, when they got back on the moon, Tails was born. And then someone attacked, 2 minutes after Tails was born, attacked the moon, and the mother had to go to Mobius. 2 minutes after they landed on Mobius, Amy decided to show up. So they were having triplets, but in 3 different times. So Amy was born, but they had to hide Tails and Amy. And they were raised separately, but on Mobius. Someone attacked the sun after, and Sonic and my dad had Jules. The names are the same. So Jules and Alina are still the same. So Jules went to Mobius, hid me, and the other 2 was raised by families like the Prower family and Rose family, that whole gist. I, on the other hand, was knocked out of the pod because Dad chose to fight and hide somewhere else. I landed, and Black Doom found me and gave me to Eggman. Eggman raised me along with Tangle and Whisper, which, by the way, Tangle and Whisper both have their villages, homes, and towns destroyed. They were basically traumatized to the point where they had to fight. We were raised, and around the age of 5, I was fighting everyone else. I was robbing stuff. The age of 14, I was keeping up with the fastest thing alive, which was Amy Rose at the time. My universe is a lot more buffed. I'll explain that later, future video or whatever. But yeah, so I fought the fastest thing alive, and with a freaking giant axe and whatever. And I kept having scuffles with it for about a year. she planted a little thing of doubt in me, saying Eggman's a complete douchebag. I didn't believe it at first, but the more we started doing heists and stuff, the more I started to doubt it. To the point where I actually went on a computer thing and learned his plan for me and Tangle and Whisper. Took a hard drive, stole the data, and left. Hid, and a story that I will finish at a later date. I'm here to describe what the characters look like. So, we'll start with the main one, Sonic. He is as red as the sun, usually. He has, later on in the story, in his life, he will hopefully, well, not hopefully, but he will eventually learn about his fox half and his moon half. AKA, half his body will turn white. Both of them, so the sun, so he has, his entire body is red for now. His left eye is red, sun-colored red, and his right eye should be blue, like moon-like blue, like cyan blue, like snow white blue, Snow White. However, due to an experiment that Eggman did to both me and Tangle, our right eyes we can no longer see out of. That's that. I have the ability to go super and dark. However, if Sonic eventually plans to go explore the multiverse at some point, and encountering multiple people, Sonics, blah blah blah. So eventually he'll change it to Sunflower and Nightmare. He has a hyper and dark form stage 2, but he doesn't discover those until many years later. Yeah. Tangle is unique. Tangle is a lemur who had her entire village burned to the ground. And Belle, the beetle, is dead. Permanently. So Belle doesn't exist in this world. Her tail was singed, all of her fur gone. It was just a bone. So, Whisper, which by the way, in our world, in Hellfire verse, Whisper what's it called? Is not she's a genius. She's invented things and stuff like that. So Tangle has a tail of her own that retracts and stuff like that. So it helps with, she has a metal tail now, which is nice. Her eye is thing. Me and Tangle both have adapted to our right sides being gone, which means we also have adapted to being able to, basically a sixth sense on this side. We can basically sense whatever's on our right side over time. Next is Amy. Amy is normal. She's the normal Amy Rose of every universe. She's pink all over. The only difference is she wields a scythe instead of a hammer. And eventually, when her blood actually awakens as her being of one of our siblings, one of her quills will turn like sun red. And then there's Tails. Tails is a lot different than every Tails in the multiverse. This Tails is pure white, like white as snow. And there's a legend in our Mobius that says if you see a white two-tailed fox, you will be frozen to death and die. And when Tails was born, people believed it and avoided him, bullied him for it, blah, blah, blah. Amy was the one that said, that's pretty cool. Aren't you afraid of me? Not really. So they teamed up, became heroes. I tagged along after time of explanation later, and stuff like that. Tails cannot fly. He can't. It's not possible. Because Eggman brainwashed Sonic, and he has a giant wrench, he uses it, and he was just inventing it at the time, and slammed his Tails. They broke, and Eggman and Tails are both have an IQ of 600. They are far smarter than 99.9% of Tails out there. Essentially, Eggman has IQ of 600. He invented badniks that made it so so Sonic, Tails, Amy, etc. no longer can spin dash, because our quills and fur and stuff like that are entirely immune to it. We basically had to learn to freaking punch the dang things. Also, we do not have a Knuckles or Chaos Emeralds, which means Perfect Chaos never happened. Any event that the Chaos Emeralds resolve around never happened. Like Lost Hex, never been. Frontiers, never happened. Generations, also never happened. 06, thank the fucking God, never happened. Like, freaking every Sonic fan's like, where was this when we needed it? But, yeah, 06, never happened. And eventually, Sonic does go to the Sacred Rings universe and Night Realms to be Arthur and crap. However, the difference is Sonic will have the ability to summon all 7 world rings and of a unique form with it, and bring the armor outside of the book. So Caliburn will lie in his head at future dates. Eventually, he will also have Chaos Energy and Soul Energy in his body, along with the Phantom Ruby's energy, because an experiment that Eggman did, unknowing to him, with a dark creature I've invented called Black Gaia, or basically pure negative energy of any sort, has possessed and basically tortured us with this concept. And if you know Solar Tails' story, then it's basically almost identical to that. The only difference is the identity, Emerald, and knowledge of it are entirely different. So, for example, Solar Tails only has a Chaos Emerald, a fake Chaos Emerald, inside of his body. Me, or Sonic, has a fake Chaos Emerald, a fake Soul Emerald, and a fake Phantom Ruby in his body, all once, simultaneously working together, which make no sense whatsoever. And if eventually I get to meet Solar Tails, and hopefully blah 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 other crap, not probably happening, so I'm not going to include that one. But yeah, Sonic will likely never discover this. He also has a 10-tailed form which never exists, that I'm going to be including because 10-tailed fox, blah blah blah. And eventually, hopefully, if I learn, if I learn it from Saiyans or whatever, I'll be able to use Ki as well, and Anarchy Energy. Eventually, I'll be able to use every energy that I learn, which will be great. However, he needs help with that, which right now he hasn't left the multiverse ever. He's stuck with whatever world he's got with. He's stuck with it. Stuff like that. Who else am I missing? Blaze. Blaze has no gem on her head. Her power, an event happened where her gem is broken, and she needs to learn her power on her own, which her left eye, has turned into it's blunt red, but doesn't hurt or anything like that. She can still see out of it, yada yada yada. It's just blunt red. Silver isn't a pussy. I'm sorry, Silver fans, and I am not disrespecting you because I fucking love Silver just as much as the rest of you guys, but, Silver isn't a fucking pussy. If he will crush your brain, if he has to. This universe is kill or be killed. AKA, make friends if you want, but as soon as they try killing you, kill them back. So Silver isn't a fucking pussy. He will make it so he can grab boulders the size of a fucking mountain. Or boulders the size of a fucking human being. in, like, tallness and in length, you might as well be talking to Queso. But, I mean, like, lengthwise, it's as big as, like, 2 Quesos, which is hilarious. But he will chuck those at you. He has the ability to create weapons through psychokinesis and other psychokinetic abilities using from the brain. Blaze and myself, Sonic, have the ability to control fire. We're both pyrokinetics. Except we are far more terrifying because we can set... So, let's say this. There is an opponent in front of us and we're surrounded by a forest. Most people would be like, oh crap, like most pyrokinetics would be like, oh crap, I can't use firepower. Not Blaze. She will snap her fingers, set everything on fire, and the only person that will be screaming in agony is the person she targeted. AKA, the moment she shuts off her flames, that guy will be burned to crisp, and every single tree around her will be untouched. And a person who wants to see this action can actually walk through the fire perfectly fine without being harmed. Freaking Blaze will know someone's there because they're touching her fire, and she's linked it to her mind so she can control it, blah, blah, blah. So she'll know they're there, and know that they're friendly or hostile or friendly. So she has that. She also has control over the Soul Emeralds. Doesn't matter what any of them are. They're fire-based. The Soul Emeralds have fire capabilities, which means she has control over the fire that resides within the emeralds. She has the ability to call them to her or send them away. And she also has the ability to turn off other pyrokinetic powers. Anything fire-based, regardless of what it is, she can control. Doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter who, where, what, or when. Doesn't matter, she has control over it. Now, Sonic has cryokinesis as well. He has the ability to control ice. So does Tails. Amy also will be able to learn to go and use her own firepower. Blaze, Silver, Shadow, and Sonic, all of them have the ability to go super on command, without the emeralds, because they don't technically exist. The Master Emerald also does not exist. Also, there are other variants of other Sonic tubers I know. I'm not naming them because actually I should, so you can go subscribe to them. Which are Tavaria Sailor Peace, the Cookie Jar or Cookie, Zoe, or I don't know, the Moonlight Zoe or whatever I think the name is. Chilled the Fox, Dragon and Blade, or Dragon Blade if you want the YouTube title. And then one that doesn't actually exist anymore. But I'm not naming that one because it might cause conflict and blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about it. Yeah. Oh, and then we also got AG, or Queen AG, and then Alex, or, as he's known through things, Dimensional Alex. I have my own variations of them as well, with their own backstories, past, trauma, blah, 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 story for another time, and stuff that I'm not going to talk about unless I'm actually interacting with the people who own these characters and are the source and owners of them. So I'm not bringing them up or their backstories because I have no claim to them. So I can't say I own these characters until they give me the okay. So I'm not doing that. But I have my own variations of them and their powers. I have Cream the Rabbit, which, in my universe, she is a hydrokinetic. She can control water. However, she has nobody to train her. Technically, she does. We're not talking about that. If you know who I was talking, if you remember the names I mentioned earlier, then you should know exactly who I'm talking about. But I am not mentioning it. So she technically does not have a trainer to train her to use her water powers. Same with me and Tails. We do not have people to help us control our fucking cryokinesis because we don't know anybody. I'm trying to imply that Solar could help us. But, again, not my character to complain or blah, blah, blah. So, I have to think of other people that could help, whatever. So, that's that. And then we have me. So, Sonic also has another thing. He's part Nazo. And there is a Nazo in our world. However, he's chill. He's, like, super chill. As of now, no. He hates me with all his guts. But eventually we learned that the Doctor separated us by force, but failed because he has my super and dark forms, along with his own powers and chaos powers. I have his perfect and hyper-perfect Nazo forms, plus his Nazo form look-alike. And chaos powers and shit like that included. Whatever I learn, he learns. Whatever he learns, I learn. However, it's only related to chaos abilities and crap. So if he learns Chaos Torrent, I will learn it eventually. Or I will get the idea for it. Whatever. Also, he is also part Silver and Shadow. So my Sonic is part Silver and Shadow. It's, ironically enough, it is like Alex. It's an Alex ripoff. However, I'm not part Saiyan, and eventually, over time, I learn how to combine the DNAs, aka a Sonic and Shadow fusion. I can become Shattuck at will, or I can become Photon or Sonic Silver fusion, or I can become a 3 fusion between Sonic, Silver, and Shadow. Fuse the 3 of them together. Or a Silver and Shadow fusion. Etc., etc., blah, 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 stuff like that. That's also something. Another thing. Eggman made it so he had the idea of freaking I don't know what idea he had at the time, actually. He just shot this at me like it was for fun. Thought it would do something stupid because he didn't know what it did. He found it was an experiment that he found in his laboratory. It was a gun. So he brought it with me and thought it was dangerous. Shot it at me. Instead of whatever the heck it was he thought it was going to do, it then reaffirmed me from being a male to a female. I don't know how, I don't know why. It just did. So Sonic is now a chick. Which made no sense and made Amy, because at the time we didn't, the 3, me, Tails, and Amy didn't know that we're siblings, so it made me crash even harder for me because she's bi in her world. So she's bisexual, so fun. How fun. But yeah. Tangle, Whisper, Blaze, and Amy are all crush over Sonic. It's dumb. The other 3 hide it, though, because Amy exists. So, but it's dumb and whatever. And yeah, that's all I'm going to give for now, because it's been 23 minutes. So, bye!